Hey, what's up? I'm back. Okay, I had to go do something. All right, hey, let's finish this video real quick. The time Barry became the Reverse Flash. Yeah, that's messed up, bro. How the hell you gonna tell something to a wifey? That is
Or at a
messed.
wedding dinner, only to be met with Iris calling him a murderer, as if she's one to talk. To prove that he's the Flash or something, he tries to change into a suit, looks down and realizes Barry shows up out of nowhere at a wedding dinner, only to be met with Iris calling him a murderer, as if she's one to talk. To prove that he's the Flash or something, he tries to change into a suit, looks down and realizes that bitch is completely yellow. Like, why is he also surprised? Nigga, you put it on. Bro was looking at us like we switched that shit out personally. And I have to say, I don't know how Wells managed to look this goofy in the suit. It's just
It's
a different color. It shouldn't look this ridiculous. Face to face, Don tells his lame ass squad to suit up like this shit was a Disney Channel original. Reverse Flash starts the round by slapping the shit out of Barry in the middle of the function. And the Diversity Hire 5 go to work defeating the Flash.
Paralysis ray. No speed for a couple seconds, Alan.
Why are you doing this?
So I can do this.
The average Joe would be able to sidestep this slow-ass anime punch.
exactly.
Poo power scaling. I didn't think it could get worse than Kirkman. He escapes to have a conversation with the old ball and chain, but he's already aware she doesn't have a clue of who the fuck he is. And now for the real meat and potatoes, the heart of this bullshit illogical arc. You see, last time Thawne got his ass whooped, it all of a sudden became very clear that Barry was simply faster. So his plan was to go back and ruin Barry's life. First, he pushes Joe into some train tracks, gets him fired from his job, and sprinkles in a little bit of framing on national news, all to make Barry suffer the worst psychotic breakdown imaginable. And then after everything I just described, he goes back and makes sure he gets hit with the bolt of light, leads Team Flash, and develops a relationship with Iris, completely replacing him in those events. So if I'm getting this right, he somehow ruined Barry's life and then switched with Barry's life? Even with the timey-wimey speed force paradox nullifying bullshit, this makes not a lick of sense. Not only that, the time travel expert Eobard Thawne thinks this won't destroy the world. Just to give you an idea of how convoluted this shit is, if they're operating on a branched timeline, right, then affecting the past or the present shouldn't affect the future, by the definition of it being a separate timeline. But when Barry walked through that portal, he did not go to a different timeline. He just literally went to the future. So how does Iris not remember something that happened a couple years ago? And it's even more confusing. Like, did Barry choose to become the Reverse Flash in this timeline? That would imply that the past that he just came from completely doesn't exist. After Thawne says his old plan, Barry starts to fade out of existence on cue. With this revelation, he goes to Damien Dark for help, another DC Legends billboard. At least this one got sauced up. Look at how Brody just force gripped these helpless interns. They come up with a plan to reverse the timeline changes, and this nigga ends up sacrificing his life to save the timeline where his daughter's alive. Why does he have to sacrifice his life? The plan is not even interesting enough to explain. While the entire universe is being ripped apart by this time paradox, Whack Woman and Iris have a little heart-to-heart, yapping about how she's going to adopt with her girlfriend. Imagine you got two moms and they're both Instagram cosplayers. Bro, I'd rather remain an orphan, honestly. Before Barry saves the world, he wants to talk.
That's wild, bro. That is wild.
To his wife one last time, but gets completely cock-blocked by Thawne. But to be fair, that is his wife now. He's been cracking Shuddy for years. She's conflicted, but quickly makes up her mind about whose stroke game was better and shoots Thawne in the back. Brody starts tweaking on the floor like she threw a used needle at him. With that finish, he goes back to Damien and uses his machine to fix the timeline. Killer Frost and I don't know who the fuck this is, Kraven the Hunter, they jump Damien Dark, where he displays an ungodly amount of aura just to get tased at the end. And you know what's even more confusing? When he goes back in time, Despero has killed everybody on Team Flash except for Cecile, of course, the main character of the show. But how in the hell are they dead if in the future they're alive? Also, why is he torturing Team Flash for Barry's location when he saw him run through the portal? Him coming back to the future sends a wave that changes the past, which it's just not how that works. You remember when Savitar said, if you kill me, you become me? When that nigga was literally a time clone that existed outside of the timeline. They be really just saying shit and hoping the audience doesn't notice. Despero then reads his mind to confirm that it wasn't him that destroyed the world in the future, and he goes to give Joe a hug now that he's not dead. In episode 5, Thawne is just still here, turns himself into the police to ask Barry for help, now that he's the one fading out of existence. And the whole team has to debate on whether they should let Thawne die or not. And they're somehow split, even though they killed multiple villains. He was cracking his wife for a decade. How are you gonna let that slide? Like, the character assassination gets so bad that they have Joe defending the Reverse Flash with his whole chest. And they really should have just let him die. I swear to God.
Exactly.
There's no death penalty in Central City either. The Arrow's daughter is also here, but she's just another billboard for a dead franchise. Because the team decides not to kill Thawne, Despero comes back. He wants to put the Reverse Flash on a t-shirt for his cosmic crimes. So he fights him to what looks like the death to make sure his worst enemy is spared. No idea if he died or not, but this shit looks horrific. And he got hit with the craziest dropkick ever formulated. Tell me this shit don't look like a dramatic finish. After suggesting to Thawne that they take his powers instead of his life, he starts tweaking out, you know, because that's his whole identity. Bro would rather die than detransition. But they like how that shit sound. They feel like that's an apt punishment. And zaps Gang's power away on spot. Then immediately get fitted up for a nice team dinner.
It is my life. You took my life.
No one
Let me
can.
play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
My little bitch, she is the baddest. I swear that she swallowed a magnet.
Let's go.
Since you got this far into the video, I might as well throw in a bonus round, right? The season 8 finale is some of the worst pile of ass I've ever witnessed in my life, and that's only slightly an exaggeration. Episode 18 starts with Cecile saving the day from a bank robbery. They also add this random diversity hire.
What season is this, bro? Hold on. What did he say? Hold on. Go back. Go back. Did he say? I didn't hear it.
Song for you on the world's smallest violin.
My little bitch, she is the baddest.
Yeah.
I swear that she swallowed a magnet.
Let's go.
Since you got this far into the video, I might as well throw in a bonus round, right? The season 8 finale is some of the worst
Season
pile of
8.
ass I've ever
Okay.
witnessed in my life, and that's only slightly an exaggeration. Episode 18 starts with Cecile saving the day from a bank robbery. They also add this random diversity hire speedster. All you need to know is the big bads of the season finale end up being the Forces. Basically personified physics principles given birth by Barry and Iris.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I remember this. This part I remember.
Star Labs and slime out Team Flash, only leaving 3 speedsters to fight damn near gods. And that goes just about how you expected it to.
Exactly.
They fold it like a damn omelet. Barry has to pull him in the Flash time to explain a plan, which is to distract the Forces while he charges up some lightning to throw at them. But just as the bolt is about to connect, the Still Force snaps his fingers, teleporting Iris directly in front of the bolt. Finally did what Savitar couldn't and released the audience from this torment. Killing Iris turns him into green particle effects that end up possessing Eobard Thawne, the good Thawne. But as soon as he absorbs the Loud Pack, he geeks out and literally peels his skin off to reveal bad Thawne. This shit is fucking horrifying. As soon as he gets up, he starts talking shit, saying a bunch of sci-fi nonsense to sound smart, with a bit of rage bait sprinkled in there. But Barry's had enough and starts tasing this nigga to death. There was no charge up needed for this one, was it? Oh look, Thawne is over there really suffering, bro. You can hear him in the background crying. His kids pull up and tell him he's not worth it and have to bounce from reason to reason not to kill him. As if the mother you speak of hasn't killed before. We had
Yeah.
an entire arc at the beginning of the season of him killing Joe and Barry sparing his life after the fact. Then he spins back for your wife and he lets it slide yet again. It's even more foul because of that arc where
Can't save him like that. Don't save him. He don't want to be saved. Don't save him. He don't want to be saved.
Nora was me writing the Reverse Flash. All this yapping allows Thawne to escape. He tries to go back to the timeline he created, but it's gone. And he's genuinely upset that he doesn't get to crack Iris anymore. They go back to the base to have a conversation with the rest of the team. Barry comes up with a plan, and Miss Starsign has an outburst yet again. Like, how good is the top that she's given the producers have to be for her to get this many lines? And her lines are always completely irrelevant. Like, they add literally nothing to the story except making her feel important. This bitch has an outburst in the middle of making a plan to tell Barry he needs to make a plan.
The only place left to hide is the negative speed force. If I can find a way in.
No, look, I can feel all of the anger inside you. I can, and I know that you've been to hell and back today, but we need to think our next move through.
She killed Iris!
Bro, shut up. Look at Nora acting all fucking scared. Oh my god. This show is genuinely angering to watch. They're sitting here trying to insinuate that Barry's unhinged for wanting to kill the Reverse Flash after these morons have spared him literally 20 times. Like,
Yep.
at this point, I think the writers are just trying to gaslight us to think that criminals shouldn't receive punishment. Meanwhile, Iris has a stay in hell with Damien Dark. And Barry gets pulled into the negative speed force for the Forces to explain how they want to become even greater gods. It might feel like I'm not explaining some things, but I promise you, it's not only uninteresting, but the more you know, the less it makes any sense. For example, right after the Forces tell Barry their master plan, Thawne shows up in the middle of the city in a Black Ranger suit. And I gotta admit, in a better show, that might be hard. If they called the whole show the Power Rangers instead of the Flash, this shit would honestly be peak. With his newfound power, he just starts sliming random people, and now we end up with an all-speedster duel. Or the one they start jumping that nigga with the lightning bolts, really crossing streams on him. Tased him so bad his body went limp, but that turns out to be some illusion magic, and they actually shot Bart. They showed up and got put in a genjutsu immediately. Since Thawne has all the power of the Forces, he just freezes Barry in place, and when he tries to go for the kill shot, time gets stopped. All the Forces, including the Speed Force, all merge into one Loud Pack and absorb into Barry, turning him into the ultimate Pride Month advertisement. So Thawne freaking ass tried to sneak him with a tentacle. Barry weaves the first one and grabs the second, and uses the Strength Force to toss that nigga across the parking lot, destroying some civilians today. And I'm not going to cap to you, this is the best fight in the entire series. Way better than the finale. Barry is really rocking his shit across the city. They're using the lightning colors to show the specific power they're using at that time. Red is for the Speed Force, while Barry's painting them on the ground. Thawne uses
Damn, man. Hey, yo, shout out to the editors, dog. They did their thing. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Look, as much as I'm not the biggest fan of this arc right here, the editors, y'all did your thing.
the Still Force to drop a plane on him. So Barry responds by chucking it to the side with the Strength Force, then teleports to his location instead of chasing after him. Iris comes back from Purgatory and tells Barry that the city can't take any more fighting. You don't say. He just threw a plane into a building. Thawne walks over and he's like, nah, bro, we about to scrap it out until one of us dies. But Barry thinks about it for a good second and starts meditating in front of him on the ground on some I have no enemies type shit. It's such a zen state that Thawne's attacks just phase through him. So he channels all of his power into a wave that starts destroying the city. Barry harnesses all the forces to implode this nigga out of existence. Such an anticlimactic way to end that fight. If he had this much power power from the beginning, why throw hands with Thawne in the first place? That concludes possibly the worst arc that the CW Flash produced. A masterclass on how to destroy a franchise.
Exactly.
82 videos, 158 million views, and we finally hit 50,000 subscribers. So now there's a Discord channel where you can find all the music and edits specifically used in the video.
Okay, man. Hey, look, I'm I'm gonna stop it right here. Shout out to Karai for yeah, such a fun video, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah, this was a fun video to react to. Please like the video, comment and like and sub to the channel, man. It goes a long way. Yeah, go to his video, do the same thing, man, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.